So, Mom, I know it's not pleasant, but, and I don't even know where I heard this story from, but Grandpa died, your dad, in the shower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Grandma found him?
Wait a minute, I didn't never heard this one.
Yeah, he died in the shower.
Yeah.
Your father?
Yeah.
And my mother went in, you know, because at that point he was not very well at all, and
Yeah.
she was constantly checking on him. And yeah, she went in.
I never heard
And
that.
she had her difficulties then after he died, right?
Yes.
What, can you describe that a little bit? Because I just don't remember.
Well, she was bipolar.
Uh-huh. Before that, yeah.
Yes, and actually she was bipolar most of her life, but my father, unbelievably, could control her. And he could get her out of a low, and he could get her down from a high.
And she had an attack every 2 years, like clockwork.
Yeah.
For the first 10 years of marriage, every other year we took her for shock treatments.
Well, at the end, the last time we found, last couple of times they tried medication.
Yeah.
And they did find something at the end.
And what?
Undoubtedly it was lithium, right?
No,
Yeah, I think she was on lithium.
I remember she was on lithium.
I do think she was on
Really?
lithium. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was something.
How did her bipolar manifest itself? What happened? What did she do?
Well, she was very high,
Manic.
manic, and she would run around and,
Not
Give-
naked.
no, but she, you know, her Halloween trick, she
Right.
took a pair of pajamas with feet in, put a bunch of cotton at the rear and made bunny ears and put them on, and she would run around trick-or-treating with a shot glass. But she would organize teas and have ladies here and just flip.
And when she was the opposite, then what?
Well, then she didn't get out of bed, didn't get dressed.
I'll tell you a little story about that. I mean, what I remember, my mother and dad lived with her for a couple of years. She was all alone in this big house.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, she claimed that my mother and father were spying on her.
Lil said that.
Yeah,
That was
the end of them living with her. She claimed that they were hiding behind the door and watching them when she
Paranoid.
went to bed. Yeah.
Didn't she try to throw herself out of a car once
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
I remember that
one of
story.
the
She got
trips
very,
to the.
very unstable.
One of the trips.
Tried to commit suicide a couple of times.
No, just the once when she tried to get herself out of the car. She didn't do it any other time.
But pretty much when we knew her, she was manic for the most.
Right, my memory.
Right, our
Right.
memory of Grandma is that she
Right.
was manic because that's how she sort of ended up.
But
So-
were there periods of time you wouldn't see her?
I had
when
no
she was
idea as a
depressed?
child.
We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a really interesting story to tell about Grandma that really is amazing to me. So I don't know if you know this, but she especially when she lived in Leisure World, she thought, not when she didn't think this when she lived there, but she thought this all the time, but when she lived in Leisure World, we walked around and she explained to me that Milton had been reincarnated as a butterfly.
Oh yeah.
And you knew this? So when we walked around, she saw a butterfly, she'd say things like, "I'm doing fine, Milton. Thanks for checking on me. I'm doing great." And it's like, and we didn't skip a beat. Like we didn't talk about it. We just kept walking, but that's how she would respond to butterflies. So I was a kid then, right? And so I lived in Kingsburg when she died. And I drove 3 hours, went to her funeral, drove 3 hours back, and that was a big day. And I, got out of the car and I went to the garden. I'm walking around the garden, and the first thing I saw, 2 butterflies flitting together.
Oh no.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is creepy.
Yeah.